Hello everybody, welcome to the first video in this new video series that I am doing called Lessons for Living from Beyond. My favorite thing about mediumship connections, besides that just the connections themselves are amazing, besides getting to see that our loved ones still have their personalities, besides knowing that we don't die, that our consciousness will continue on, is that those in spirit truly have advice and encouragement and more of a mountaintop perspective for us to guide us to live our best lives, to help us maximize our time in our human suits that we have, to help us navigate challenges with greater ease. And this particular lesson today is all about creativity. I will first say that this is a theme I have noticed across many mediumship sessions, actually for years. Creativity to those in spirit seems even more important than to us at the human level. But in this last week, it has come up in every single mediumship session. And I'm going to give you a couple examples, and then we're going to talk about what is the importance of this and why, and what does this mean to you. So first of all, I'm just going to give you two examples from the last couple of days. I had a mediumship session with a grandmother in spirit. And the grandmother in spirit helped me feel, first of all, that she sort of was a very serious person her whole life, but when she got into her elderly years, she lightened up and she became a lot more playful and just easygoing and fun. And the client in my session was the granddaughter. She showed me that, well, she kept drawing my attention to these two flower paintings that I have up here on my wall that I'm putting in the video now that you can see. But the second time that she drew my attention to them, I suddenly just knew this granddaughter, this client in front of me, has an untapped creative side. And it's in particular around nature photography. Even though these are paintings, I just sort of knew it's nature photography is the interest. So I said it this way. I said, your grandmother is helping me feel that you have this very untapped creative side and that you have an interest in nature photography, but you are not really engaging with it at all right now. And she said, it's really funny. A year ago, I bought a nature photography course because I bought a special camera and I really wanted to learn the more formal aspects of photography, but I just don't have time and, I don't have time to do it. And so I haven't. Well, the grandmother was here to say, you don't have to learn how to do this. The point is the play. That's what the grandmother was saying. The point is simply engaging with the act of doing it because it's interesting, it's creative, and it's something you love. She helped me feel that the granddaughter is in her personality. I just felt it internally within me that she's very contemplative, always reflecting just about the world and life and lots of different things. And she's just kind of a serious person. Guess what? I'm kind of like that too. And the grandmother was kind of like lighten up like me, like I did in my elderly years. And one of the ways that you can do this is through this creative endeavor that you're not really utilizing. And I just thought that was so fun. She went right from there to showing me in my mind's eye. She kept turning on and off a lamp, like I'm seeing it in my mind. And I described it to the client, the granddaughter, like a Tiffany lamp. It's got stained glass, and all I can relate it to is a Tiffany lamp. I feel that she had one of these when you were little and you really liked it. You thought it was super neat and you really admired the lamp. And I feel that you have this lamp now. You ready for this? She said, she did have, it wasn't a Tiffany lamp, but she did have this really unique stained glass lamp And it was something that I was super interested in and I was always kind of playing with. And I don't particularly have it, but it remains in my family. It was something important that was passed on. I love that. That is so unique and so specific. And then the grandmother was doing it with the light on and off again. And then I could hear her kind of laughing. And she was saying, lighten up like me. A large part of her purpose in being in that session that day, well, there were two purposes. One of which was to prompt and nudge and encourage her granddaughter to engage more in playfulness, to do things that are more fun and light and tap into her creative side. This came up again in a different way just yesterday. I had what I thought was a grandmother in my mediumship connection, a grandmother in spirit, because she's sort of, for me, in mediumship sessions, I have sort of a system. Most people obey the rules in spirit where fathers always show up in front of me. Siblings or real good friends show up right next to me. Grandmothers and grandfathers will sort of be up here. I know that probably sounds odd, but it's just it's how it works for me. That's where I feel them, and then that's how I know their relationship. And so this was in my grandmother's spot, and it felt like a grandmother. I could see her. She had red hair. I could see that she was in her 60s, and she had a lot of vitality in her. I could tell she did not live into her elderly years, that she passed in her 60s with her pretty red hair. I could see she liked to wear nice clothes. She always liked to look nice. She wasn't a jeans and t-shirt kind of woman. That she loved her jewelry. She had a real playful laugh. And she was showing me sheet music. I could tell that music was really important to her in life. And I described all this as a grandmother. However, she kept twice in my mind, I kept hearing mother once removed. And I never heard that before. Well, the client in my session said, all of this makes perfect sense, but it's not my grandmother. It's my godmother. And I love that because mother once removed sort of makes sense, but I've never had a godmother in a session before. At least not to my knowledge. And so this was her way of trying to get me to understand the relationship. Anyway, this godmother helped me feel that she is connected with her loved one, her goddaughter, through creativity. And she was helping me feel that her goddaughter has a skill in writing and that she's actually involved in some projects where she's trying to earn some additional income through her writing and that she's very talented, and all of that was true. And the grandmother helped me feel that her goddaughter wasn't necessarily in the right frame of mind to engage in her writing right now in the most helpful way. I felt that, she was just kind of having a tough time in a variety of ways. And I'm not going to go into in this video for privacy purposes. And the godmother helped me feel that getting out into nature to write, to journal, to write poetry, which she does write poetry in her free time, would be very helpful. And she too wanted to bring a lightness to her granddaughter's life. Her goddaughter's life. She wanted to see her goddaughter brighten her energy, have some more freshness and newness in her world, and tap into her writing in order to bring about that. So in that way too, engaging in creativity was a way that the person in spirit was suggesting we can better our lives. And this is, again, something that I've been hearing for years from those in mediumship, the importance of creativity. And when I think about the why, I think it's a little bit that when we engage in creative endeavors, we become more in tune with the realm of spirit, because in the realm of spirit, I believe it's sort of all about creativity and joy and just choosing what type of experiences that you want to have. And when we engage in creative endeavors, not only are we tapping into that flow of creation, and we are creation itself, we're aligning ourselves with the highest part of ourselves. And when we align with the highest part of ourselves, we bring to our inner world more positivity, more joy, more grace, more fun, more wonder, more curiosity, especially if we can be present and really engage with that creativity, with presence, in order to reap the full benefits of the endeavor through that sense of presence and appreciation. So that's your lesson from Beyond today, the importance of creativity. It doesn't matter if you're good at it. It doesn't matter if you're skilled at it. It doesn't matter if you know how to do it at all. As the grandmother said, the importance is the play. And so I'll leave you by asking tomorrow, or in the day ahead after you watch this video, in what type of creative endeavor will you simply play for the joy of it? Until your next lesson for living from beyond. Bye, everybody.